Hey there, Alex here. The Huawei P20 Pro is a pretty interesting phone. While it may not have the most original design, especially the front of the phone, it's packing some serious heat underneath. Just turn the phone around and you'll get a hint of what I'm talking about. Huawei is pulling out all the stops this year when it comes to hardware, and we start with how it looks. Like I've mentioned, it's not the most original design. From the front, it kind of looks like a bad copy of the iPhone X. Other than the notch, there is also a rather big chin at the bottom, which also houses a fingerprint sensor. Functionally, a front-mounted fingerprint sensor is a little more convenient, and the sensor itself is lightning fast. It also comes with a face unlock feature which works well enough in most lighting conditions. Even in a dark room, just having a bright enough wallpaper is enough for the camera to pick up my face. I think that the reason they didn't go with a rear-mounted fingerprint sensor was just to keep the design of the back of the phone clean. I'm not sure if it matters since most people will have it in a case, but it does look really nice, especially the twilight option that will be released in Singapore a bit later. Even the placement of the Huawei logo looks spot on for me. Let's talk a bit more about the notch. I know some folks really hate it, but I don't mind it at all. It's not the most elegant looking, but it does provide a bit more screen real estate for things like notifications. If you really hate it, there is an option to just turn it off, so it's really no big deal. The display itself actually looks pretty similar to the Mate 10 Pro, which is to say it's really good. Nice colors, contrast, and outdoor visibility. It's just a tad bigger on paper, but that's probably just because of the notch. Actually, it's not just the display that is similar to the Mate 10 Pro. You'll find plenty of other similarities inside the phone. The specifications are pretty much the same down to the battery capacity, so the performance is pretty good as expected, and the battery life has been just as amazing. Even with slightly heavier use, I'm ending the day with around 30% of battery left. It also has the same IP67 rating for a bit more durability, a pair of speakers that sounds pretty good, and they're both lacking a headphone jack. The main difference between the P20 Pro and the Mate 10 Pro are the cameras, and to a lesser extent, software. So let's quickly talk about that first. It's running Huawei's EMUI, and it's fine I guess. Like for day-to-day stuff, everything works well enough. I'm not a fan of the design and the heavy-handed approach here, but using a third-party launcher helps. Bloatware and design aside, EMUI is a pretty feature-rich experience. It comes with quite a few customization options and useful features. Things like changing the UI to a dark theme, customizing the navigation buttons, a really handy one-handed mode, and running two WhatsApp accounts at the same time. So if you're willing to take a bit of time to remove the bloat and customize the UI, it could still be a decent experience, but I really think that EMUI could use a facelift and a bit of cleaning up. Now let's talk about what most people are looking forward to, the cameras. Let's break it down. First, you get a main 40 megapixel camera with a larger sensor than most phones in the market right now. Then it has the usual monochrome sensor that we've come to expect from Huawei devices. Last but not least, a new telephoto camera with 3x optical zoom, which is more range than other phones with a telephoto camera. This trio of cameras plus Huawei software makes the P20 Pro one of the most interesting camera experiences around. This is a camera that uses quite a bit of image processing, so by default it shoots at 10 megapixel by combining 4 pixels into one to create a better looking shot. The camera also has a scene detection feature which adjusts the color profile depending on your subject. But I find it a bit too over the top sometimes, so I tend to just leave it off. I still think that Google's HDR+ mode on the Pixel 2 is better looking and more consistent, but Huawei's style of producing shots with more contrast can sometimes be nice too. Where the camera really shines is in low light. Due in part to the larger sensor and software magic, the P20 Pro has one of the best low light performance I've seen to date. Images taken by the phone looks really good, and Huawei has a night mode too, which prolongs the exposure to capture shots with incredible dynamic range. I was expecting to see blurry shots due to the longer exposure, but was pleasantly surprised at how well the feature worked. It has that highly processed look which some folks might not like, but I think it looks pretty good. Then we move on to the monochrome and telephoto camera, both of which can be fun to use at times and provides more range and flexibility to express yourself creatively. They also enable additional features like a portrait mode, for example, and help improve the main camera's quality through software. Most of it seems to work well, and the score that DxOMark gave the P20 Pro should mean that this is the best smartphone shooter around. Or is it? Well, it depends on what you're looking for. The video quality is not that great since it lacks stabilization at 4K, and shooting at 1080p produces softer looking footages. It's able to shoot 960 frames per second slow motion at 720p like the Galaxy S9, but the implementation and quality just isn't nearly as good. The front camera, despite its whopping 24 megapixel sensor, is somehow just limited to 1080p video recording. Still photos looks a little soft, and even the dynamic range isn't nearly as good as what the Google Pixel 2 offers. What we have here is a very impressive camera experience, especially in terms of the rear camera. It even performs a little better than the Google Pixel 2 in low light, in my opinion. But when you factor in its shortcomings in terms of video recording, its front camera, and the slightly inconsistent image processing, I still think the Google Pixel 2 provides a more well-rounded experience if you don't need all the bells and whistles. Just keep in mind that I'm mostly just nitpicking and comparing because that's the whole point of a review. I think most folks will be happy with the camera experience on the P20 Pro. So let's wrap this up. While the software experience still leaves much to be desired, the P20 Pro is an amazing feat of engineering. I'm amazed Huawei was able to pack in that much hardware in a package smaller than the Pixel 2 XL or the Galaxy S9 Plus. While I can't say that this is the best Android phone because best is pretty subjective, I can say that the P20 Pro is definitely what I would consider to be a top-tier flagship device. It's a great alternative to the Galaxy S9 Plus, especially if you're looking for better battery life and low-light photography. It even comes with 2 years warranty in Singapore compared to Samsung's 1-year warranty. So if you're looking for a new phone, definitely have a look at the P20 Pro. Thanks for watching my review of the Huawei P20 Pro. If you have enjoyed it, feel free to like and subscribe. Oh, by the way, there is a smaller P20 too, and you definitely should not buy that. It doesn't have the same camera hardware and isn't as water resistant, so you might as well just get the Mate 10 Pro instead. Thanks again, and see you guys on the next one.